Hey guys, welcome to Earth Day with the Discovery Museum. So we have a couple of cool projects today, but I'm going to start with my plant press. So I have this plant press. It's a gift. It was a gift from my mom from a real long time ago, and I have been using it for years to press plants. So you can see it's got a couple of different layers. There's some cardboard in there and some paper. And maybe you can see at the top, there's a tiny little thing poking out the top. That is a flower. So this press in particular, it's an official press, but you can press flowers with just about anything as long as you have a couple pieces of paper, maybe some heavy books. So when you lift up the layers, you'll see that there's some paper in it and some cardboard, and the top is made out of wood. But then underneath in the layers, you'll find some flowers. So and as you pick up the layers, you'll see here's some cardboard, there's some more paper, and then there's flowers in each layer. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go on a flower hunt, and we're going to look to see if we can't find some cool flowers, and then we are going to use them to make some artwork. So I want you to take a venture out into your garden, out into the yard, out on a walk around the neighborhood. As long as you're not digging up anybody else's garden flowers, you should be okay. I know I took a walk the other day in the park and there were some tiny little violets, so something like that. They don't have to be real big flowers, and actually it's better if they're not really big, because it's harder to squish them flat. So you kind of want to get some that are going to remain flat once you set them down. So let's go on flower hunt. Hey guys, Miss Jen here. I am out in the garden and I have decided that I'm going to be cutting some of my flowers. So I brought my scissors out with me to cut the flowers, and I figure there's lots of flowers in my garden, and I have permission because it's my garden. But if it's not your garden, if it's your mom's garden, then you need to ask for permission. Or if it's a neighbor's garden. Now, if you're walking out in the neighborhood, remember I said, as long as it's not in somebody's garden, you can pick it. But I find that using scissors works really well. You just grab a piece, grab a flower, and pull it away from the plant a little bit, and then use your scissors to cut it off. And then you've got a tiny little piece of your flower, and then you're good to go. You can use that, press it in between your pages. All right, so I'm back from the garden and I have quite an assortment of flowers. I've got some purple and yellow pansies, these are called bleeding hearts. See how they kind of look like a heart shape flower a little bit? So I've got some bleeding hearts. They're a lovely pink color, some carnations. I've got some of these little white flowers, little poof balls. I have a little bit of purpley blue lobelia, and I also just cut a couple of green pieces because they'll be kind of cool to add into to sprinkle in amongst. So now you're going to take and you're going to sandwich some of these flowers, and you can put a couple of flowers on each one, and you're going to kind of want to set them just so that they look good. Okay, so you decide what looks good. This is your flower arrangement, so you can decide. And it's okay if the colors don't match, they're not in any special order or anything like that. You just want to figure out how many you can kind of squeeze on a page. So you kind of sprinkle them in. Like I said, it doesn't matter how they look right now, because really what you want to worry about is just getting them flat. So once you've got a couple laid out and you know that they're all going to fit on the page without overlapping each other, I think that's probably good. You're going to take another piece of paper. So I have another piece of paper here, and you're going to very gently make sure that everything's staying nice and neat when you press down, and you're going to flatten it. Now, here comes the tricky part. If you don't have one of these guys, you're going to need to get something heavy, a couple heavy books. Maybe if you have older siblings, you can grab some textbooks. And you're going to want to put the heavy thing onto your paper so that it smushes, it flattens, it presses it down. Now, this is going to have to sit here for a while, and that's okay, because it'll be a fun surprise when we finally get back to it. But basically, this paper is going to absorb some of the moisture. It's going to have to dry out, and it's going to have to press it flat. So it's going to take a little while to get your artwork done. It's going to take a couple of days, maybe even a little bit more than a week or two, to flatten and get it dry and get it so that it's sort of papery. So once it's all papery, that's when you can use it for your art projects, okay? So it might take a little while to get to this stage, but that's okay. That's kind of what makes it fun. It's almost like a little Christmas present when you finally do open it back up, okay? So once you've got it under the paper, you're gonna smush it flat, put some books on it, and then leave it alone for a little while. Come back over a period of days, couple of days, pick up the paper, check it out, see what it looks like, and then smush it back if it's not ready yet. If it feels like paper, then it's ready. Another thing you can do if you don't happen to have a plant press and you're not sure that you can find some heavy books. I happen to have some books here that I can use to press the plants in between, but you know what's kind of cool? Is I can also take the plant and put it between the pages, lay it down, and then close the book. My mom used to take anything that we got, for any of our special flowers and whatnot, and press them in between the pages of a Bible. And so our family Bible has lots of flowers smushed in between the pages. But it works really well because there's lots of pages there, and it's pretty heavy, so you can't even tell that I've got a flower in there right now. So you can also use books to help you press the pages of your flowers. And if you can stack enough books high enough, you can press them in between the books also.